I'm Leah Tyndale and welcome back to Note to Self. And look who the cat dragged in. It's Michael Ross. G'day, Michael.
Hello, Leah.
You're very fortunate because the guest I was going to have is sick. And so I thought, who's desperate enough to come back? And so got you. So welcome.
No. I want to make this clear. I was asked back because of this. I wasn't desperate.
Or was I desperate?
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's more that.
Yes, but that's okay. No, but you're a welcome guest. And actually, it's quite fitting because we're sort of coming up to maybe a year, almost exactly, to when I first had you on for episode 1 of season 1. And I thought it would be a good idea, despite the fact that you weren't the guest I had in mind, to have you on and to see how things are faring and how your notes to yourself are going and how they're rattling around in the head. Maybe you've become more wise and you've got more to share with us over the last 12 months.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay, all right, well, that's good.
It's been very impressive that you're
I'm still doing it.
No, that's going so well. And from what that first episode was,
that was a mess, really.
And our episode was, I think, unlike any of the other guests that you had.
Yeah.
They had actual helpful notes about life and love and grief and
finances. Yeah, and then you were on and you really set people's expectations at the beginning as if it was going to be a comedy show. Little did they know it's not what it's going to be. It's going to be serious self-help.
So if you've been, slogging it out for an entire season going, when will it get funny again? Buckle up.
That's a lot of stakes in yourself, isn't it?
Well,
get ready for a barbecue.
That's a note that I have. Take confidence from those around you.
Yeah, okay. Is that what I should be doing?
Tickets Tyndale has spades of confidence.
You know me. I'm swimming in it. I just walk into a room and it drips off me. And that's why you didn't listen to the last episode, did you? No. Because in that, Michael, I talk about the fact how you have to be brave and that even if that takes drinking a very strong martini in order to sit on the rooftop by yourself because you're on a work trip with no one else around, then you should do it anyway. So
you think Dutch courage is valid courage?
In that situation.
Were you also having a conversation about the unhealthy aspects of drinking?
Yeah. But it's all about balance.
Right.
So,
everything in moderation.
Yeah. So take us through, though, your note to self update. What is the biggest thing that's swirling around in your noggin? And then I've got a note that I want to poise to you.
Sure. Pose?
Pose, that's the one. But it could be poised as well, waiting delicately.
Well, we'll poise ourselves to find out more. The note that I like things that can package nicely into like a sentence.
Okay, great.
And so the whole drive here, I was trying to condense the note into its purest form. I said beforehand with the caveat of this is either a really good you know what? That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Or you know what? That's
rubbish.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But it's basically, it's easy not to do something than to do something.
Yes. No, that is very astute and absolutely correct. I think that's wise. Well done.
Which is really funny. But the way I got there, right, is because as a dad, in child psychology, the reverse is true. So children can't not do something. So the word don't has no meaning. Do not do that. That is unhelpful. And then so then it goes full circle. And so it's still true. It's in that.
Sorry, you're losing me. Come back. Keep going.
So if you're so say you have a kid who is throwing things off the table.
Yeah.
And you're don't throw that on the floor.
Yes.
Don't throw that. You're not telling them what to do.
Yes, you're not giving them a new directive.
So the thing, and my wife was the one who sort of got me onto this, and it was a video with a child psychologist, and he's so if you don't want them to touch something, it's, hands by your side, look with your eyes, you give them clear things to be doing at that time.
Yes.
Once you learn the word don't, once you learn that power, that's actually the easiest thing then in the world. If someone says, stop that, don't do that, we can all go, okay,
yes,
easy. Sort of thing. But you've left us with no instructions. So we still have the same problem that we do as kids, but we now know the word don't. And so we will stop. And then the other person is satisfied.
See, I actually thought you were going on a very different path with this and that it was much more wise. What you've explained.
This is the worry. So then this is what I was thinking about. Okay, so it all keeps feeding into me being a dad. In that, like, so we went on a family holiday recently, and Pip is in like the terrible twos, and it seemed like it got on other family members' like nerves, and that then sort of led to not like an altercation, but like a real dressing down almost of like, stop her from doing that. Why do you let her do that? That sort of thing. And I've walked away going, this is completely unhelpful, because all the parenting advice I got was, don't do parenting the way you're doing it. But I got none of...
Yes, the helpful advice.
Yeah, because it's actually really easy to tell adults, don't do that. So I could stop that. I can make those family members happy. I could stop those behaviours in Pip, potentially. But I don't know how. They didn't tell me how.
Yes.
You know?
And they probably didn't tell you why that particular behaviour was bad in their eyes.
Yeah. And then that was the other thing as well, in that, like, I'm learning that the way that everybody parents just comes down to, like, taste effectively, in that, like, what do you expect children to be doing at any given time? Does that annoy you or not?
Yes. Yeah.
You know? And so then that's why it's different for everyone. And also that you are only seeing them for that moment or that day, or maybe that holiday, but you're not there for 365 days.
Yes.
So it feels also a bit rich at times to tell people what to do on a moment.
Yes, and that's why parenting advice is so hard, and why I don't tend to, go into that water as someone who doesn't have kids, because people, first of all, go, well, you don't know, but also, like, I haven't necessarily lived it, unless someone really is like, oh, from an outside perspective, would you do something similar?
But I think the pushback, again, is a miscommunication of, like, so if you tried to give advice, the pushback would be, don't tell me how to parent. And you can immediately stop that.
Yes.
But if they asked you, tell me how to parent, then you might struggle.
I don't know, I'm pretty wise.
But
yeah.
like, teaching is hard.
Yes, it is. Like, and in a way that someone can learn as well. I did honestly think that where you were first going with this...
Take me where you think I was going.
Yeah. Was that... because selfishly, it's always what I think about is like projects or trying to do something, or like we're all often, you can cast judgment on somebody, but if they've started something, but it's harder to start something than to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's where I thought you were kind of...
No, but it's like, and this is the thing of why I'm trying to condense it down, because I think it works on so many levels. We just did a fitness routine journey for our radio show.
Yeah.
It was a month. For me, it was going from literally zero movement to, 4 days at the gym kind of thing. I don't know what it was like for you, because you already went to the gym, but was it like a ramping up for you in commitment?
Yeah, we were trying to run a 5K park run, and I've never done that before. Most I've ever gotten to is probably 2Ks, and often I'm like, that's enough gym time now, and I will leave. And all of a sudden we had stuff we had to do for the show. We had a PT. I had you all of a sudden being like, all right, let's go to the gym, and I'm like, no. So, it was a huge ramping up.
Yeah, but I think we were able to do it because we had each other, and we particularly had the manager, Josh, who was great, in going, this is what you do.
Yes. And now we are lost. Well, I am lost.
Yeah, we're lost again.
And I haven't gone to the gym for 3 days because, I'm exhausted. But
because
also...
now that it's sort of stopping, the only instruction sort of becomes, don't stop going to the gym.
Yes.
Which, again, it's like, okay, but what's the next thing? Tell me the do. And actually, he's been fantastic in that he has the campaign is over. He has no need to do this, but he is giving us a plan for the next step, because obviously he's in the perfect profession where they obviously completely understand that people walk into a gym for the first time after being, the only thing ever being told is, don't sit around on the couch.
Yeah.
Don't be a couch potato. But you don't know how to start, how to not be the couch potato.
Yes,
kind of
yeah.
thing. So he knows that world so well, and I thought he was great.
Yeah, I did too. I think that's some very good... It is good. It is a good note.
I think it's a good note, but it's really hard to like condense. But it's
But then where is it sitting then after that? It's like, so that's swirling around in your brain. So it's like, okay, great. It's easier to just not do something than to have a specific instruction or whatever.
And likewise, it's hard to do specific instruction. So I realize that the kind of parenting that is modern parenting is trickier. I'm not saying parenting of the past was easy by any stretch. All parenting is not easy, but you will get results quicker by simply ending a behavior instead of creating a new one. And so that's what I'm up against at the moment, where I have to almost try and prove to some people that I can guide her behavior, but also I don't want to give up on giving her new positive behaviors.
Are you doing like a gentle parenting type thing? Is that what you're doing?
Gentle parenting is born out of that psychology.
Sure.
But it's taking it another step further.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing. We're trying to find a middle ground because we think that gentle parenting will be more effective the more comprehension a child has. So a 2-year-old, as clever as she is, you can't talk her through everything.
Yes, yeah.
But you absolutely can reward positive behavior. And
distract.
And redirect and that sort of thing. The easier thing, the less stressful thing would probably be shutting things down, sitting her down, full on timeouts. Like, I think that that's more straightforward and you'll get somewhere quicker. But then the kid will just kind of, be doing nothing?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it depends as well.
They won't know how to redirect if they're in a situation like without you.
Ironically, though, your parents have done a pretty good job with you and your sisters. You are less traumatized.
I don't know if we are, but I think
from appearance or in comparison, perhaps to myself.
Obviously, you're the family dynamics are incredibly different.
Yes, yeah.
They're very, very different. But I think that was the thing of I think my parents created me in that I am very functional, but at times I'm very lost.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know not what to do. I'm very risk averse. I'm very...
Yeah, you just got told, don't do it, but then not why don't you try or, okay.
I feel at times that I don't know what to do next.
Yes.
I think maybe the thing that offset it is that they definitely fostered learning and curiosity, but I have to go away and figure it out.
Yes. That is a beautiful thing in itself to be able to do as an adult, because you don't really, no one really knows what they're doing anyway. In a sense, it's kind of better to do it on your own and figure it out. No one sort of paved a path for me, and so I am doing the same thing. And I find that a lot of reward in that, because it's definitely on your own merit then.
But would it have been nice to have that built into the parenting of of rewarding that curiosity and that learning? I think that sort of part was kind of missing. I was encouraged to go learn it, but then once I did it, at times it seemed like it didn't really matter, so long as I wasn't doing the wrong things.
And I imagine your parents probably didn't know what outcome they were trying to push you to anyway, or how that would lead.
As well.
Yeah.
I'm learning that about parenting as well, in that I can't be the parent today that I was yesterday. My parents had 3 kids, and famously I got denied the right of going to leavers. Younger sister was then allowed to go.
Yes. Oh, and leavers, if you don't come from WA, is the final holiday that you get.
Yes.
When you have
other
finished
parts
schooling.
of Australia, schoolies.
Schoolies, globally. What would globally it be?
I don't know what they call it.
Did they have it? Basically,
normally, spring break, if you were in the States.
Yeah, as a school student.
Yeah, and my younger sister, she did get to go. And I think that was, as a teenager, was this is very unfair. Why did this happen? Why do you like her more than me, kind of thing? But potentially what it was, and I haven't really ever talked to my parents about this, is that 3 years on, they saw that it was a bad choice for me, and they didn't want to do that again. So they wanted to learn as parents and try something different. So
isn't that weird, though, when you start to see your parents as humans?
It's just as people.
Yeah. And you're like, hang on, no, you're meant to be the infallible parents. Is that the point of being a parent? And then you're like, oh, no.
No, but they're the fallible parents.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we're the fallible children. And in our dynamic, you remain the children kind of thing. I've
Yes.
seen other families where it sort of changes into more of like a friendship kind of thing. I'm not saying one is right or the other, but just as staying the forever children can be frustrating because it means that then there's the lectures of what not to do, and depending on parenting style, you don't get the what to do.
Yes. My favourite analogy about parenthood, I'm probably going to get it wrong because I can't ever remember these things, but is like you start off as the parent, you then become the teacher, you then move into the coach, and then the end result is, I think, friend or mentor.
Mentor, maybe, yeah.
And that's the kind of way you're meant to approach it, rather than, I think, either parents go, or people want to just be friends, or they try and teach when they should be a parent, or they try and be a mentor when they're not at that level, and then that's how you pass other kids through. But I don't know. If it sounds good, let's say it's the accurate quote, and if it doesn't, then say I
That's the
don't
one.
remember. Yeah.
And I think that it all feeds back into my first note.
Beautiful.
Because it would be easy to choose to be the parent you don't want to be. It's harder to choose the parent you want to be.
Yes, because you have to take that action then every time, even when you're tired and overwhelmed.
And it's nuts.
hard.
And you're lost at times. And then you have other people saying, oh, yeah, you can read the literature or you can watch X, Y, and Z or talk to X, Y, and Z, but then you still have to do it.
Parenting is just hard. I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
And that's why.
I mean, life's not hard, but like,
it's tricky. You're always trying to figure things out, and you're always trying to course correct.
If you are trying to course correct.
This leads me into a great segue. Yeah. How good! It's like it was planned.
We're just professional.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, you've got your phone out.
I've got a note. So, there is a quote that I heard that I wanted to run past you because I think it's quite fascinating.
Great.
By a guy called Dave Evans. And we might have to say it twice because it is one of those things that you have to get your head around. Yeah. But he says, you can't be fulfilled, but you can be fully alive. You can't be fulfilled, but you can be fully alive. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I was like, that really struck me because I think, as you know, I'm always pursuing fulfillment in everything I do. But the more you sort of go into literature and you meet people who have made all this money or they've gotten to all this success of what we perceive as success, that doesn't necessarily mean they are fulfilled, and they jump back on the wheel of, okay, well, what's next? What's my purpose? And everyone is always talking about your purpose and wanting the fulfillment. And so instead of chasing fulfillment, you're looking for being fully alive. And so in that, then you're looking, okay, right here, being present right now in our conversation, in the work we do on air. And he has this follow-up quote.
That's a double barrel.
Sorry. Yeah, that's another one. He says, the thing you long for is how you're made. If you can befriend the longing, it's no longer a problem of it's never enough. And you can stay in this is as good as it gets.
Okay, that one's got a bit more going on to it. So,
yeah. The thing you long for is how you're made. So if I'm longing for, I don't know, I want to make $1 million and have a book out. The longing and the process to get me there is how I'm made and the person I'm and in the fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
Not the getting there. And so if you become friends with that longing for the thing rather than the thing, you'll never be in a spot of it's never enough because you'll be here right now rather than always there in the future.
Cool.
So then we circle back to the first note, which is you can't be fulfilled, but you can be fully alive.
Yeah. Because,
discuss.
Well, because I would take that as meaning like, if we are complete, we're probably dead.
Yes.
The completion of our life is the cessation of life, is the end of it. And only at that point would we know maybe how fulfilled we are. But also you shouldn't have any regrets. And I don't think a lot of people do.
You don't reckon? I think that people have so many regrets.
No, but I think, okay, with the caveat of living to a ripe old age and dying as naturally as you can from old age. I think when you get to that point, I think the regrets you had mean little. If you did have regrets, they mean less and less as the time marches on, as the end nears. And that in itself would bring more fulfillment and contentment kind of thing. I think it's when there's so much left to do that you worry about those regrets, because I guess you're not being actually present. You're a house that's half finished. And if the end was near, that would be gut-wrenching, because you're like, but there's so much left of the house to build, and I haven't finished that door, and that window that I built 10 years ago is not code. Like, and that's why it'd be so gut-wrenching to lose people so young.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
because they don't get a chance to fulfill. But yeah, you can't be fulfilled in the lifetime.
So then with that frame of mind, and what you're talking about with your note to self around it's easier to not do the thing than to try and actively do the thing. Do you feel like you are looking to be fulfilled as a parent or in the way that you parent, or are you able to be present in the journey of the discovery of how to be a parent?
I don't think I'm trying to be fulfilled as a parent.
Because some people have kids to fulfill some gap.
No, becoming a parent was important because to me it feels like a really important chapter that I want to learn my capabilities, kind of as a parent, as a carer, as someone like growing a family. You learn more about love, so it to me it's really important in that way. But then you have created another being, so then it's important to them. And I think that's how I'm sort of looking at parenting, in that, I feel it would be more straightforward, so maybe not easier, it would be more straightforward to design a family life and a child that suited me wholly, kind of thing. And I think I think if you go way, way back, that was parenting. Like if you go back 100 years ago,
yes,
it was like, we're going to pump out all these kids and then they're going to do exactly as they're told so that they fit completely in our lives, as if they almost weren't there.
Because then they need to take the family business. There's a legacy then too, right?
Yeah.
They have to have the skill set to be the boilermaker, the butcher, the whatever.
And maybe your life was so on a knife edge because times were harder. You're like, there is no free time to give. If you can't get up to the parents' speed, if you can't fit into their routine and their life, the family could collapse.
Yeah, yes.
So there may have been a good reason for it, kind of thing. I don't think, but that I have the luxury, but that's not the case. I have the time. I'm very lucky in my workday that I have the time to grow something different.
And be very purposeful in what you're doing with
Yes, and be on that journey. Yes, I'm not fulfilled yet. One day, I will probably be a fulfilled parent.
Do you think you couldn't get to that level?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that I'd like more parents to recognize that when your children are adults, to recognize their successes.
Yes, yeah.
And there's a balance where some of that is thanks to you, and you can be really proud of that, that you've created a great person. But you can definitely go too hard on that and take away the pride that you should have for them.
Yes.
And going, well, you did that. I didn't do that for you. You did that. And that should fill you with immense pride. And that would be so fulfilling if you're like, I didn't even set that up for you.
You did that all.
You did that all on your own. So I must have done something right.
So do you disagree with this then sort of statement as a whole? You can't be fulfilled, but you can be fully alive.
Well, I wouldn't be fulfilled as a person. I'd be fulfilled as a parent, wouldn't I?
Sure, like a segment of
Yeah,
yourself.
pieces of you.
Sure.
Pieces of you can gain fulfillment in your life, but you will never be wholly fulfilled until you die.
It was funny, actually, because in that a conversation with Dave Evans, he then talks about his next chapter being death. So it's like, what's the goal to death, if that's because around the corner, which I think is funny. But for me, I'm trying to focus more on the fully alive part.
Yeah, and I think you do that very well. I don't
think so.
No, but maybe the reason that you are fully alive is a byproduct of you chasing fulfillment.
Trying to forever be fulfilled.
Yeah, and I think maybe you just have to, and this sounds very telling you, and
Go on, tell me
I
off.
don't mean to.
Tell me.
But it's like a stop and smell the roses.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
You've obviously got the right idea. You're obviously on doing all the good things, but you need to forget about the end and focus on the journey.
Yes,
kind of thing.
yeah. Which I'm trying to do. And like the fact, even it's like this podcast right now, this episode is the best thing that I can do right now in this moment.
Yeah, right. Literally in this second.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this as well with my one, and that another note I was having is that, all time is irrelevant and there is only now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's getting a bit too...
No, I like it. But and this is a space where I always play it anyway.
And then I started thinking about how I told you the other day that animals are experiencing time differently from us.
Yeah.
So when you leave your dog at home, right?
Yeah, crap.
Think about this. When you leave your dog at home, because dogs perceive a second slower than we do. So if your dog is alone, and I think this is why dogs can get very anxious and lonely.
Yeah, they think the time's going twice as
it's
long.
Much longer.
This is mean.
And then it's also adjusted by, and I wonder if you feel this. So you are 5 years older.
Yes.
You perceive time quicker than me.
Yes.
Because you've experienced more of it. It's a smaller and smaller percentage of your... So this conversation means less to you than it does to me.
Or does it mean more?
It really drags.
I think that whole, the staying in the present moment is very hard to do with everything that's going on and the busier that we get. Do you have a way that you like to stay present? Like, are you someone who's like, feel my fingers, like feel the carpet on the floor?
No, I don't do grounding. I just try to not plan too far ahead. Because I find it's a dangerous space to play in anyway.
It's a very hard thing to do in our industry, though. You kind of have to have one foot in each camp all the time.
Yeah, but it was interesting in that one of our bosses, the boss of our boss, I tried to, in our last performance review, talk about the different things I could do after being on air. I said, well, I could be a content director. I could help the next generation of people come on air. I really love football commentary, so I can invest more time. And I was like, so what do I do to learn more of those skills, to be ready for that? And he said, but what do you want to do this year? What do you want to do next year? And I said, well, stay on air.
Yes.
And he's like, then I don't want to tell you anything about content directing.
Yes.
Or your footy commentary. If you can do that this year in with what you're doing, go for it. But the content directing thing, they're like, if that's the next chapter of the career, I'm not going to tell you anything about it right now because you don't want to do it yet.
Yeah, and this is the advice that I hate.
And it's really tough, but that's what being present is, of going, what's my skill set? The next year is probably as far as you can go.
Yes, and that is true. And there's the whole thing about, I've been told this all my life, and I forget it, and then I remember about, like, what's in your hands right now. And I think if you're like, okay, yeah, right now we have a show together every day. I'm doing this podcast. I live in regional WA. That's in my hands, so I'm going to continue to do that until, and that's not to say you can't be productive, but I feel like if you're a little bit, like me and always planning, then it's hard to just be like, oh, I'll just use what's in my hand. You're always trying to get something else in your hand.
But I guess for you, it is in the window of now. That is this year.
Yes, yeah.
Things will change this year, so it's absolutely appropriate for you to diversify and things like that. Like that's not silly goal setting. Oh, that's very practical.
Yeah, but it's tiring.
Oh,
I would really love.
Because it's easier to not do.
Yes. Than to do. And it's all connected. And I tell you what, I talk to my partner all the time about the fact that I would really love the idea of having a little cottage in the forest where I don't do anything. And he always looks at me and he's like, there's no way you could handle doing that. I'm like, I like the idea that I'm someone that could just do nothing.
But maybe you find you would.
And I read books. Maybe I'm a lecturer at a university and I only wear caftans and little monocles.
Because is that the how you're made, the who you are? that maybe all of your journey is just to be a little cottage lady,
Maybe.
you know?
Maybe it is just slowly to sloth away each dream until I realise they haven't fulfilled me yet.
Fit it so much that way. But because what's your end goal? If we went hardcore, let's go.
Yeah, okay, deep dive.
Your end goal is you would like to be the CEO of a company.
That's one of
You'd
my
like to be
many
the head of a
goals.
company.
That
and
would be cool.
And you would like to live comfortably. You would like to have accumulated.
I would really like to be respected in my field as a voice of wisdom.
Great.
Which is funny because I can't often string contenders together.
And then what?
I don't know, because I don't know how that ever happens.
You know what I mean? Like, eventually we all, again, if we get to live the full life, there will be a point at which you walk away from your career, and then do you just become the cottage lady?
Maybe I
So
do.
either way is
I get it all.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Whether you make it to the end of one road or the other road is your final destination.
Ooh.
Cottage lady.
I mean, it would be great.
In the forest.
We've talked about...
Barefoot.
Yeah. We've talked about the spectrum of self before, haven't we?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, because it's new followers.
It's a new season.
New season. The spectrum of self. This is not a theory by anyone important. It's just something that I came up with for my own.
Don't do that because you want to be wise.
Oh.
So this is an important theory by an important person.
By a leader. But what I'm saying is I don't know if I've stolen it from someone. And so I don't know who to credit. But anyway, but for me personally, I run the spectrum of self. On one end, it's the hippie, the barefoot hippie, who wears caftans and bright coloured clothes, and she just forever lives in the sea, and she's into stargazing and nude swims, whatever. The other end of the spectrum is the CEO boss bitch, who wears only white suits and stilettos and has the perfectly manicured hair and everything at all times.
Yep.
She's very fashionable, and she lives in a lovely mansion with like columns. You know? So,
column. If you've got columns, you've made it.
Yeah.
Arches, that's like a step down.
Yeah. Columns,
Pure columns.
Because you can just
Marble?
have like a photo by your column, you know?
Someone writes a column about you and your columns.
Yeah, I want to be in like
you want to be Rose Portier.
Yeah.
You want to live at Predamore. That's a lovely niche West Australian rich people joke.
Yeah, that's where I want to live. Exactly right. And then so my spectrum of self, I slide on this scale.
Yeah.
Depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going and living in the country at the moment, I probably lean more towards the hippie self.
So city Leah is boss Leah.
Yeah. As soon as I get to the city, I'm like, I've got to change my outfit. I need nice shoes. I was in Sydney the other week. I was considering, because we were going to a conference, and I only bought like big, chunky, they're not country loafers, but they're like ones that if you happen to go into like a field, it would be okay.
Great.
You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like...
They're thick.
They're thick. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need a dainty heel. All of a sudden I was wanting a ballet flat. I don't wear ballet flats. I hate them. But in the city, I want to wear a ballet flat.
The spectrum starts to shift.
Yeah. So the spectrum of Leah. I don't remember my point about that. Oh, the cottage house lady.
It's still the cottage house lady.
Yes.
She's just sliding on that spectrum.
Yeah. So I'll return to my cottage. I'll only eat sourdough and muffins.
And maybe that's the fulfillment at the end.
Maybe.
You know, and you won't know it till you get there.
And it'll be like one of those movie storylines where a journalist comes to knock on my door and be like, weren't you that lady that lived as a CEO and only wore ballet flats and heels?
No,
I don't want to talk about
shoes in fields.
Yeah. I want to finish on a great note to self that you reminded me of just before we started recording. And I think I never do. I only do funny note to selves with you. I don't know why. Maybe because people think
you got to mix it up.
Serious podcast.
It's the spectrum of self.
Yeah. What's your spectrum of self actually?
There's a very ridiculous side of me and a very practical side of me.
Yeah, but give him a character.
Give him a character. So at one end,
nerd.
Well, yeah, it's like
jock.
It's like imagine John Cleese.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
At one end, there is the Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yes, great.
You know, and at the other end, there's just actually John Cleese.
Yeah, okay.
You know, but it can be like that.
Yes.
I think when I began this job, a lot of people were surprised because they never saw the clown.
That's true. You do come off as very serious.
Yeah. It's like, but I don't want to be. That's me looking for the ballet flats.
Yeah, okay.
That's me just acting normal around people
Yeah.
because they can't handle you being odd.
I'm going to buy ballet flats now. When you put them on, people will be like, oh, that's what role he's in.
But yeah, I think that's what it is for me. For me, it's not so much about like maybe the life I want to live. But I guess because the life I want to live with my wife is closer to the clown.
Yeah, yes.
You know, but I can absolutely I can pay those bills. And, you know, I can make the important calls and talk to doctors. And,
yeah, okay.
And really, at the end of the day, I have done some just like repetitive work, like sifting dirt in a shed. I think I mentioned that the first time I appeared on this. But like I've done that and it not really mattered.
Yes.
You know, I've done the hard day's work in the shed kind of thing. I don't want to do it, but I can do it. I can be clean-cut John Cleese. I want to be Silly Walks.
Yeah, okay, great. I'm going to come up with characters for your Spectre of Self.
Yeah, I'd like something that's more me.
Yeah, like I wasn't.
You got hippie Leah, boss Leah.
You need a caricature. We'll work on that.
It's like rodeo clown, rodeo clown Michael.
Teacher.
And then, I guess like...
Because you're not really corporate.
It's like substitute teacher Michael is the serious one.
Yeah, great.
I'm somewhere along there.
Yeah, okay.
So,
amazing.
What was the next note?
That was great. Then the next note was very, very important. And this is a really, really important lesson.
Right.
That's going to help people everywhere. And it's a HR lesson, human resources relations.
Yes.
It's what not to do in an office.
Yeah, I think we'd have a lot of problems.
So the note to self is, well, it's not don't hug your colleagues. It's don't hug your colleagues and then hide.
Yeah.
Don't hide after being affectionate with colleagues.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a bad note.
Okay.
Because I think you have to
after consenting.
Don't be affectionate with colleagues.
Unless it's consensual.
And then
not at work.
And then don't make it weird. I think that's
don't make
the
it
note.
weird.
Don't make things weirder than they are.
Yeah, and how did you do that, Michael?
Well, when you got the job to work on breakfast, you were very excited. And Leah's a very huggy person.
Yes.
But I'm not a huggy person, so she has to pick her moments as to when she can get them.
I think I asked you, can we hug?
And I was like, okay. We can have a hug. And we even both looked into the office and no one was around.
It's the ghost is clear.
Yeah. Did you say the ghost is clear?
The ghost of the work past has given us approval.
Just standing in the corner, Casper.
Go for it. Yeah. It's a hug-free zone. Hug safe zone.
So then we hugged.
Yeah.
Because it was not going to be, it wasn't just like a high hug. A celebration hug lingers.
It was a little bit
It's like, yay! And you hug. And then I was facing into the office and one of our colleagues, Craig, came back in and I made eye contact with him. And I shouldn't have done this.
No.
Because he wouldn't have thought anything of it.
No, he's a huggy guy.
He's a huggy guy.
Yesterday.
Everyone knows that we're very good friends.
Yes.
But I then immediately detached
and
popped down out of view.
So Michael was hiding behind the desk.
And as soon as I began the movements, the silly movements, because I am the silly walks, I knew what a colossal mistake that is. And that could create
and all I was
calls
doing
to HR.
Was laughing. I was like, what are you doing? Get up. Why are you on the floor?
And I couldn't get up because I was laughing so much.
And you stayed on the floor for a really long time.
Because then I thought it would be weird
if you
to immediately come back up. So I was like, I'm just going to stay down here like there was a reason I had.
Oh, I dropped my pen.
Yeah. But he wouldn't have thought anything. But you are suspicious of people acting suspiciously.
Yeah. And then the fact that we wwere laughing for a really long time afterwards. And if he didn't know us better, he'd be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But luckily, he does know us.
So that's a good note. Don't make things weirder than they are.
Yeah.
And maybe like don't presume what other people are presuming.
Yeah, don't be presumptuous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that covers it.
Does that cover it?
Yeah.
That's a nice condensed one.
Don't be presumptuous, and maybe just keep your hugs to outside of work.
Yeah.
But that sounds a bit sus too, doesn't it? Well, Michael, always a treat. We've got
Thank you.
many gold nuggets today.
I really don't know. I thought it was...
And I think it links in nicely all together with, it is harder to do the thing.
Do the thing.
No matter what it is that you're doing, whether it is parenting. And while you're doing the thing, try and stay in the thing and be present so you can fully live and not try and chase fulfillment.
And a final note just for you.
Oh, yes,
Leah
okay.
Tyndale.
Yes, thank you, Michael Ross.
You can not do the thing. You're allowed to not do the thing, Leah.
No, I didn't go to the gym today
And you're allowed. And you gave me a digestive chocolate biscuit.
It's your reward.
And that's you living in the present.
Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for having me once
Always
again.
a treat. And if you don't want Michael back, you have to strongly tell me, otherwise I will keep inviting him.
Remember,
we have no other friends. Oh,
it's harder for me to not come back. You need to do it. If you don't do it, I'm coming back.
I'm Leah Tyndale. That's Michael Ross. This is Note to Self.